Hey everybody, my name is Rydo, and we can finally look at all the Knights of the Frozen Throne cards, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at every single Druid card, and then there will be a video out for Hunter, then Mage, then Paladin, Priest, then Rogue, then Shaman, then Warlock, then Warrior, then all the neutral cards, and it will be the neutral cards that will be the longest run. So to be able to see the cards, which you can finally do, you need to go into crafting mode, and you need to select standard set Frozen Throne. And we're going to go through each one of these and just see what they are. This is the beginning for me of the new expansion, which is coming out in a couple of days. And this is where I'm going to start thinking about the cards, the first time I've seen them, first impressions, and how they may help in new deck builds that I'll be building after I open. I'm pretty sure it's going to be 100 card packs once that's available. So to begin here, we have a 2 mana, 1 attack, 1 health creature called the Druid of the Swarm. Choose one, transform into a 1/2 with poisonous or a 1/5 with taunt. So this card off the bat works well with the legendary that had already existed with the Druid, where you choose one, cards get both. So with that legendary card on the field, you would become a 1/5 with poisonous and taunt for 2 mana. A pretty good card in that deck. Maybe that will make that deck a little bit more playable. Although, in all actuality, playing an entire deck around one legendary card is probably not the best strategy unless you don't have that many cards. Next we have a 3 mana, 1 attack, 6 health creature called the Crypt Lord. Taunt after you summon a minion, gain +1 health. Already we're starting to see the cards are getting a little bit crazy here, because this on the 3rd turn with several Murlocs on the 4th turn would make this a 1/10 with taunt. Like, imagine that. Like, 3rd turn you play this for 1 mana Murlocs or 1 mana anything, any minions. You wouldn't even have to play it specifically on the 3rd turn if you had 0 mana creatures of some kind. This is going to be used probably, unless all the other cards are pretty crazy. I've heard these cards are kind of crazy, and I'm very excited by that. So we have our first spell card, 3 mana spell called Nash. Give your hero +3 attack this turn, gain 3 armor. This is just a cheaper version of an already existing card. Not a bad way to expand though. Having a 3 mana version of a card and a 2 mana version and a 1 mana version and a 4 mana version of the exact same kind of cards isn't a terrible idea. It gives you a little bit more variety and lets you balance your deck easier if you needed, say, a 3 mana card because you don't have any 3rd turn cards to play, or if you needed a 4 mana card. Giving you those options is nice. Here we have a 4 mana, 2 attack, 3 health creature called the Strong Shell Scavenger, and it has a battle cry to give your taunt minions +2/+2. So if you were building a taunt deck where everybody had taunt, this would be helpful. I could see that happening. I haven't specifically built a taunt deck for the Druid, but it would probably work just fine because there's plenty of taunt creatures that are neutral. Next we have a 5 mana, 5 attack, 3 health creature called the Fate Spinner. It has choose a death rattle secretly, which this is a new phrasing, new mechanic. Deal 3 damage to all minions or give them all +2/+2. I don't see a huge reason why a lot of times you would give all minions +2/+2, But it does definitely give you that option if, say, you're playing very well and you're playing control and killing all of your opponent's minions, so he doesn't have anything on the field. It would make this useful, whereas dealing 3 damage to all minions isn't that useful if you're playing control and you have 6 or 7 minions on your side and they have none on theirs. Conversely, if they're playing control and they're managing to kill everything that you put on the field, dealing 3 damage to all minions makes a lot of sense. So, for the low health, this one could be a good board clear or a good buff to all of your characters. So I could see playing that, certainly. Next card is a 5 mana spell called Spreading Plague. Summon a 1/5 Scarab with Taunt. If your opponent has more minions, cast this again. So you play this on the 5th turn. If he has 7 minions and you have none, you would get 7 1/5s with taunts. Or, wait, no, you would have, I imagine, 6 1/5s with taunt. Because it says if your opponent has more minions, not the same amount. So you still wouldn't match him, but it would be pretty good. What I'm noticing here is that there's not a ton of cards. So Druid is going to be pretty easy. Each of these class cards are going to be pretty easy. I thought this expansion was going to be bigger than that, but maybe they play more in the neutral field. Next we have is a 5 mana spell called Webweave. Summon 2 1/2 poisonous spiders. This is the first card I've seen that seems just on the face of it to not be worth it. It's pretty expensive to spend 2.5 mana to summon a 1/2 spider. It's like, I wouldn't even really want to spend 2 mana to summon a 1/2 spider without poisonous. Because you could probably get a 1/2 creature easily in the neutral for 1 mana. Oops, I forgot to put myself in busy mode. Let me fix that. There we go. Fix the chat. Well, that's going to be on the recording forever. Hopefully that fixed it. The chat itself doesn't work the greatest. Here we have the new mechanic that is the main mechanic to Knights of the Frozen Throne, the Frozen Knights. So it is a 7 mana new hero card, I suppose. It's something new called Malfurion the Pestilence. And you can choose one, summon 2 poisonous spiders or 2 scarabs with taunt. It also gives your hero either 5 health or 5 armor. I'm not sure which. So there's an interesting things that happen here. Like, if this is played and it only gives your opponent, it only gives you 5 health. So you go from the starting 30 health to 5 health. It's pretty bad. Otherwise, it may be fine. Also, it changes your hero ability to Plague Lord, and you have a hero power to choose one, plus 3 attack this turn, or gain 3 armor. Which this is most definitely a better hero ability than what you start off with. Now, these cards in particular would still probably work very well with that legendary card that I guess we're going to have to go find, just so I can name it accurately, because then you'll choose one abilities do both, plus 3 attack and gain 3 armor each for 2 mana, which is very good, or choose 2 poisonous spiders and 2 scarabs with taunt, which is great because that would be 4 minions added to your field for 7 mana at plus 5 armor. I think that's what that means. The next thing we have is a 9 mana, 3 attack, 7 health. So we haven't ever seen a creature so far introduced that's really high on attack or health. Doesn't seem to be what they're adding here, which is fine because we've been down that route and there's plenty of really strong characters that don't do anything special as far as their abilities. This creature is called Hadronics. Death Rattle, summon your taunt minions that have died this game. That is going to work very well for a taunt deck, and that's certainly where my head is leaning right now. It's also a beast, so if you're doing a beast card, a beast deck, that might make some sense. And then the final card we have is a 10 mana spell called Ultimate Infestation that deals 5 damage, draws 5 cards, gains 5 armor, summons 5/5, summons a 5/5 ghoul. Interesting. This is an insanely good card, I think. Really, really insanely good. It wouldn't be crazy to do 10 damage for 10 mana and that be it. It wouldn't be insane to draw 5 cards. Well, compare Sprint, which is a rogue card that is 7 mana to draw 4 cards. You're getting quite the discount there for less than 5 mana to draw 5. Gaining 5 armor, you could probably gain 5 armor for maybe 3 or 4 mana, or maybe 6 if you just use the hero ability, and then summon a 5/5 ghoul. Depending on what the ghoul actually even does, if it's just a 5/5 creature with no special ability, that itself would probably be 5 mana. So this is, I would guess, close to 21 mana worth of effect for 10 mana. That is pretty crazy. And I wonder if there's going to be something like this every for each character. That being said, this doesn't fully strategize with the other cards we've seen, but that's alright. It's so powerful anyways. So I want to go to all cards here just for a second to point out the legendary card. Here he is, that I was talking about. Fandral Staghelm. Your choose 1 cards and powers have both effects combined. I think this has been rephrased, but I didn't see an announcement about that because this didn't seem like it used to say that. Well, that's the Druid cards. So in our next video, we will look at the Hunter cards. That's it for this one. As always, I end my episodes the same way. I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps me with YouTube. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.